We're hearing now about the wonderful glories of the associates of Nityananda, as spoken by Vrindavan Das Thakur from the bottom of his heart. He's collected all of his feelings and love and placed it into these Bengali shlokas to glorify the Nitya Parishads of Nityananda. And by hearing the glories of these great devotees, many of whom are the Nitya Gopas of Radha and Krishna and Nitya Gopis, and by hearing this Vaishnava Mahima, Charitra Mahima of the Vaishnavas, we will become purified. And there's a practice that's mentioned in Padma Puran that if you read about the qualities of a great soul and you pray to that great soul that your wonderful and auspicious and divine devotional qualities manifest at least partially, if not completely, within this unqualified and most unworthy soul, then I would be most gracious. And the Padma Puran says that when we meditate on the great exalted devotees, past or present, and we pray for the mercy, then simply by remembering them and praying to them, then 1/6 of their qualities come into us. They actually come to us by transferal. As I mentioned, oftentimes the analogy of transferring money. Your uncle is in England and he's a crorepati. He's a millionaire. So then he hears from your father when he visits his brother in England that you're not doing so well. And the father's not so wealthy. So secretly he wires $1 million into your bank account in Delhi. And then you go one day, oh, I have so much big money in my bank. How it came. So it came invisibly, imperceptibly, but it came. You got the benefit, you got the increase of wealth. So in the same way, from the bank, the Mercy Bank, the Kripa Kosh of the Vaishnava's hearts, they send their vibrations and they send their blessings and qualities via the transcendental system, and that enters our heart and increases our stock, increases our bank account of goodness and virtuous qualities, and enriches our devotion mysteriously and imperceptibly. So that's why it's so much important and so much prevalent in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and others too to some extent, but not so much as it is in ours. In other Vaishnava Sampradayas, they honor yearly one of the major saints, generally. The Madhvas, of course, they honor the appearance day of Madhvacharya. And the Sri Vaishnavas, they honor the appearance day of Ramanujacharya. And the Rudra Sampradaya followers, they honor the appearance day of Vishnu Swami. And the followers of the Nimbark Sampradaya, they honor the appearance day of Nimbaditya, or Nimbark. That's it. But in Gaudiya Sampradaya, we honor so many Vaishnavas. There are literally hundreds of great Vaishnavas, at least an average of about 100 great Vaishnavas, Parishads of Lord Chaitanya, great devotees that appeared within the last 500 years, even after Lord Chaitanya's time, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Narottam and Srinivas and so many. We honor them, their Avirbhav and Tirobhav, with the Utsav. In fact, the Tirobhav lasts for 3 days. So now just think about it. There's at least 100 devotees that we honor with 3 days a year. There's 100 devotees that we honor with a 3-day festival, Tirobhav Utsav. First day is called Adivas Kirtan. And Adivas Kirtan is the 24-hour Chobis Ganta Kirtan, where all the great devotees are invited. Through various ragas and through meditation and mantras, they invite all the demigods and great Vaishnavas, past and present, to attend the function. And the second day is Suchak Kirtans. Suchak Kirtans and Bhajans, which are various specific Vaishnava bhajans, not a Kanda Harinam Kirtan. First day is Adivas, what is it called? Adivas Kirtan. 24 hours of Hare Krishna, non-stop Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting by various rotating Kirtan parties in the area where they're celebrating the function, disappearance of Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, etc. Adivas Kirtan. Adivas means they invite all the original followers to reside there for this function in their blessing form, their Bhav Sarup or Kripa Sarup. and they're most attracted by this wonderful chanting. Then the second day is specific glorification of the Vaishnava in question. It is Sucha Kirtans, Tirobhav, Bhajans and Kirtans, glorifying Vaishnavas as a category, and specifically the merits and contribution of this Vaishnava. A Sucha Kirtan is a type of kirtan which describes specific qualities and contributions of that departed Vaishnava. And these Sucha Kirtans are specific. There's one for Rupa Goswami, Sucha Kirtan, another one for Jiva Goswami. You can see in my Samadhi's book, these Sucha Kirtans for the Sad Goswamis are mentioned in the back, written by some great devotees in their parampara. And we also wrote one for Srila Prabhupada called Srila Prabhupada Mahimamrita. Jaya Bala Krishna Lila, like this, all that. Jaya BBT. Which glorifies, that's actually a Sucha Kirtan. I became inspired by studying this subject and taking part in these functions, and especially in a Samadhi's book, which mostly is about Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And that came out. So this shows the importance of glorifying Vaishnavas, that there's over 100, and we spend 3 days. Second day is Sucha Kirtans and puja and pat and fasting. That's the actual day. The day of the Tirobhav, the Titi, and the day there's fasting. Day before, exactly the day before, there's 24-hour kirtan. And then the day of the Tirobhav, there is fasting. Oftentimes, some either complete fasting or falahar, fruits. Then there's puja and pat recited at the Samadhi tomb or Bhajan Kuti of that great Vaishnava. And all further glorification. He's glorified with a 24-hour Kanda Kirtan Adivas. Then he's glorified with Sucha Kirtans and Pat, Bhagavat Pat and other glories, often reading from his books. They read from his books and give classes. They give Pat and classes on his books. If it's Rupa Goswami's Tirobhav, then they give the Pat, the lecture from one of his books and commentary. They give commentaries on those lectures to all the assembled Vaishnavas and hear the wonderful teachings and glories. The life story and glories, and the actual teachings and contribution through his shiksha from his books. And if not, just his summary of his teachings and contribution. That's the second day. A very much day full of vilap and smaran and tears and remembrance and deep prayer and puja, worship. Then third day, ulas, utsav. It's a Tirobhav utsav. So it's all utsav. Vilap or lamentation is a form of utsav or festival and separation and festival of union. The third day is the Shobha-yatra. Shobha-yatra is when they take the photograph, murti and or photograph or painting, as the case may be, from the Samadhi or Bhajan Kutir, the worshipful painting and deity form, the Chitra Murti painting, or the actual Ashtadhatu Murti or Daro Murti or whatever, fiberglass is that. And they put on some cart, some very decorative rath, or on a palanquin, carried on the shoulders of the devotees, depending on the opulence and aishvarya of the ashram. It can be a very elaborate rath cart and a horse cart or so many things. And then they do Shobha-yatra, Vaishnav, Harinam Sankirtan. Nam Sankirtan, Shobha-yatra, they parade all around the town of Vrindavan or Radhakund, and there's a wonderful ecstatic kirtan. All the Vaishnavas from all the different groups come together, this sampradaya or that sampradaya, to honor that. Because Jiva Goswami, for example, is the founding father for the basic, so much of the Siddhanta and philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and he's honored across the board. He's worshipped by everyone. All the Advaita followers, Advaita Sampradaya, Nityananda Sampradaya, Gadadhar Sampradaya, ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, unaligned Babaji, self-styled gurus and Babajis, and self-manifested non-parampara Siddha Mahatmas, etc. They all study the books of Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami with great relish and derive great benefit therefrom. And they all come in one beautiful unity and harmony of devotees. All different tilaks, all different hairdos and beards and shaved heads and dhotis and lungis and gunny sacks, and a motley bunch of sadhus coming for the Shobhayatra. And yogis, all types, I've seen many times in Vrindavan and Radhakund. And then that's wonderful kirtan on the third day. And they prayed all around, taking the Murti of that great departed Vaishnava, and then bring back to the kuti, and there's an elaborate artik. Then after artik, there's more kirtan, and then Vaishnav Seva. The third day is called Vaishnav Seva, Shobhayatra and Vaishnav Seva. Harivas first day. This is the standard system. Harivas Kirtan. Then second is Pujan Pat at the Samadhi. Then third is the Shobhayatra and Harinam basically they usually say Harinam Sankirtan and Vaishnav Seva. Vaishnav Seva is the term that they use in Gaudiya Sampradaya to mean feast. Because the idea of Seva is a little different than feast. Feast sounds like bhoga, sounds like sense enjoyment, sounds like indulging, sounds like King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII is feasting out, gorging, feasting. So the idea of Vaishnava Seva is much more respectful and much more Krishna conscious and spiritual. It's called Prasad Seva, not Prasad feasting, not Prasad gouging, gorging, scorfing. Prasad scorfing. I scorfed it up. You ever hear this phrase? It's a Western slang. I really scorfed up the prasadam, Prabhu. I was ravenously hungry. I'll tell you, you're quite an interesting speaker. Why don't you just say you honor the Sunday feast? I was ravenously starving to death, and I scarfed up the Sunday feast, slurped up the sweet rice, and gorged the puris and cheese sabji. People talk like this. But in the more cultured circles of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they don't speak like this. They say we honor Jiva Goswami's Tirabhavutsa Prasad with great relish in the association of all the wonderful Vaishnavas. And it was great ulas, and all the devotees were chanting, Hari, Hari, Jai Ho, Jiva Goswami Bharaki, Jai Damodar, Jai Damodar, Jai Damodar. And relishing the wonderful feast in the Damodar Mandir in the association of the Vaishnava Mandal. So this discussion I've given is to describe the power and potency in the necessity for glorifying the Vaishnavas, and the extent to which it's done in Gaudiya Sampradaya specifically. Therefore, this whole idea of glorifying Vaishnavas is not done it's not an empty ritual or rite performed in repetition of the previous acharyas, but it is actually, people experience wonderful benefit from it. Each individual devotee, when he attends a function like this, he feels so purified and so elevated and so attached to that Vaishnava that it increases his own surrender and increases his own dedication and increases his sincerity and his expertise in the practice of Krishna Bhakti. So he realizes these are good things to go to. You understand how important it is to hear the glories of the Vaishnavas. How valuable, important, and beneficial. And we're so blasé, this Tirabhav went by, that Avarbhav went by, we don't even read it. That's why when we compiled this Gaudiya Vaishnava Samadhi's book with Vaishnava biographies, it's also in Hindi, Gaudiya Vaishnava Charitamrita, in Hindi, we compiled that in a very brief way because people at least can get some touch with that Vaishnava. We know the nature of modern people. They don't have time to read a 20-page biography of Jiva Goswami. In my research of the 80 Vaishnavas in that book, oftentimes in front of me I would have 80 or 90 pages of material about that Vaishnava that were unpublished anywhere. And then I would say, wow, took me so much time. It's easy to just edit that and make it a little bit understandable, to condense that into 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, which is what I did in that book. I tried to take the ocean and put it in a cup. It's a little difficult to take the ocean and compress it into one glass. So that book is like, every description is like an ocean compressed in a glass. Because people often say, why don't you have his place of birth? You don't have his mother's name. You don't have his father's name. You don't have the school he went to. You don't tell he defeated this Digvijay or that. And they ask me sometimes, and I said, I'm well aware, or somewhat aware, I've forgotten, of all the wonderful, extensive glories of all these wonderful, great devotees. But I have a particular purpose in mind. I did a specific book. Knowing that other people would make more elaborate books, and there are many other books about Sri Chaitanya's associates, the Parishads of Lord Chaitanya. There are many books in English that are quite elaborately described about the Vaishnavas, and all glories to those books. This is the foundation of Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan, innovation. Prabhupada told us, he said, you should find the ways, you should rack your brains. You should rack your brains to find the way and the means to spread this Krishna consciousness. You're all intelligent, young Western boys and girls. You should do something big for Krishna. So I would ditto the same phrase to all of our students and well-wishers. Should rack our brains how to spread this Krishna, which means how to spread and distribute these books. And we took that to heart. Day and night we were thinking how to distribute Prabhupada's books. We came up with so many new ideas which we implemented. First time ideas. Making this pamphlet, making that pamphlet, putting a flyer inside the book with feedback and follow-up addresses. So many ideas came out because we were racking our brains. And some novel and new contributions which are status quo everywhere, which were never done in the whole world before. But there's no name, Krishna knows, we know, and some selected few know. But these things, this is what innovation is. It's something new, and what's this? And all of a sudden it becomes the accepted status quo. It's the way things are done, the operating procedure, modus operandi. So this is the point. The idea is that the glorification of Vaishnavas is so wonderful. And the other thing we want to learn here from Vrindavan Das Thakur's recitation and revelation, in a summary way of these Vaishnavas, is that we should get involved with this activity and we should verbally do the same, glorify Vaishnavas, and we should read about the great Vaishnavas and honor their Avirbhavs and Tirobhavs. At least read their thumbnail biographies that we collected in our book, make it fast, and just think about those qualities. Read it, takes 5 minutes, then spend your day at work or commuting or cooking or cleaning or whatever, even chanting and meditating on some of those qualities. Is very effective. By associating with great, how do we say that association shapes our future? If you have good association, become good. Say you associate with a carpenter day and night. Will you learn something about carpentry? Obviously. Yes. You'll become expert. I see there's one boy in the town, I know one electrician. Now I saw him, he's coming with his electrician. I said, yes, I'm learning. He's a young boy. So that means in a few years he'll be an electrician. And he won't have to be pulling rickshaws and all this. He's a little bit smart. So by association we develop all good qualities. We develop Krishna consciousness. So if we associate with these great Vaishnavas, then we'll become great devotees. It's all about Sangha. Satam prasangam amavirya sambado. So let's hear about the Vaishnavas. That was the preamble. Prema rasa samudra sundaranandanam nityananda sarupera parashara pradhan. The pradhan prashad. Sundarananda. Repeat it. Sundarananda.
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 Now those are the two most desirable qualities. Everyone wants beauty and bliss. Is there anything? These are the two most desirable qualities of any human being in the entire universe. Everyone wants beauty and happiness. Sweetness, all that. Those are the subsequent definitions of beauty. Sweet beauty. Beauty and happiness. Beauty and bliss. This is the devotees. The devotees are full of beauty and bliss. So his name was Sundarananda Ki Jai. He was a Rasa Samudra. What does that mean? Ocean of the mellows of ecstatic love. Love. He was the chief of Nityananda Swarupa's associates, Parshad Pradhan. Pradhan, as you know, means original, beginning, main one. So he's a Rasa Samudra. So we can ask ourselves, are we an ocean of ras? Well, I'd wonder. Huh? We're Anartha Samudra. Someone said we are anartha samudra, an ocean of aparads and offenses. Or anarthas means unwanted things. So rasa is desirable. Prema rasa samudra. So okay, we must honestly admit that in this lifetime or any lifetime, it's doubtful we'll become a prema rasa samudra. But you're an ocean, and I'm a desert. So what a desert needs most is some water. So I can pray to the ocean, O ocean of prema ras, O ocean of mellows of ecstatic love, please bless me and sprinkle me with a few drops. I will be happy, I'll be overjoyed and kick my heels in joy if I can become a prema rasa bindu. Forget about prema rasa samudra. You're a samudra, you're an unlimited ocean of ecstatic mellows of love and service. And I am dry and loveless. I am as dry and loveless as a desert. But please, you bless me. Maybe I'm not asking to become an ocean, but can I get a drop? Is that much? If you go to a millionaire, you say, "Oh, son, what do you want?" 1 rupee. Acha, 1 rupee. Yes, because I know that with 1 rupee I can make my fortune. So he says, "All right," and he gives a rupee. And I told that story before about Baba, a famous industrialist of India. I won't tell you what he's famous for. It's in Bengal especially. And his father, he asked, his father was very wealthy, and he told his son, he said, "If you are my son and you're a true Baniya, you can make a fortune with nothing. So I will tell you a way to make some money. I won't even give you money. I'll tell you a way to make some money, and from there you'll build your fortune. This will be the acid test to prove you're a good businessman." So then that wealthy father told his aspiring son, he said, "Listen, there's a plague right now in Calcutta, and the government of Calcutta is offering 1 rupee for every dead rat. So as many dead rats as you can collect and give to the government, which may be carrying that plague and spreading to kill the people, then you'll get rupees, and then you can build your business." So then the son took up the challenge, the initiative, and he started going out catching rats and finding dead rats or whatever here and there, and brought them to the government. And he got 5 rats, and he got 5 rupees. So then he went to the pond dealer who sells pond leaves and used in some mouth refresheners, this pond. So then he said, "Do you have any old pond leaves which you can't sell?" He said, "I have some, but they're still valuable." He said, "Just give me whatever as many as you can. Give me 5 rupees worth." So he gave him a bunch of crappy old rotten pond leaves. He took them home and trimmed them. And then he got a little table and he put a nice cloth and he put them on a cloth and he said, "Pond leaves, 5 for 1 rupee. Usually they're 1 for 1 rupee. He said, 5 for 1 rupee. So people said, "Oh, but they're a little cut." He said, No, but they're good. You can see. Yeah, they're very good. "Oh, 5 for 1 rupee? Very good deal." So instead of getting 1 for 1 rupee, they got 5. So in this way, by from dead rats to pond leaves, and gradually built up his money and using his intelligence. Now he's one of the biggest industrialists in the Bengal. Very famous industry called Baba industry. So this is called ingenuity. Taking something and making it amazing. So we're not asking. So that's what I'm saying. You go to the rich man, you don't ask for $1 million. Take a rupee and build it. So we're asking for a prema rasa bindu from Sundarananda. Sundarananda ki.
Jai.
Let's hear about another wonderful devotee. I guarantee, this is of course a money back guarantee. And remember, you haven't given any money, so don't expect any back. But it is a money back guarantee. You'll get back the money you didn't give. Wait a minute. That seems to be a paradox. You meditate on that. You meditate on getting back the money you didn't give. And how will that happen? That's called a brain twister. But we guarantee, quote unquote, money back, that if you sit here and listen to these descriptions that we're giving, you'll feel purified and elevated in Krishna consciousness. Pandit Kamala Kanta Parama Udham Janhare Dilena Nityananda Saptagram. Pandit Kamala Kanta was most grave, Parama Udham. Nityananda gave him the village of Saptagram. Saptagram is actually, it's a gram, it's called Saptagram, but it includes 7 other villages within its precincts. Like we might say Mathura, Mathura Mandala, Mathura Gram or Mathura. But Mathura, someone might say, I'm from Mathura, but it actually means Barsana, Nandagram, Govardhan. There's also Mathura in a larger way. So Saptagram is, as it says, 7 different villages there, and also the Saptarishis did tapasya there in various areas in their own separate places, because tapasya is to be done alone. Chandaka Pandit says whenever one does tapasya, he recommends it's done alone. Then you don't chit-chat and get discouraged by weak-minded people. You make a sankalpa, you surrender and pray, and control your mind and senses by doing bhajan, and watch your sankalpa unfold to perfection, and then the ensuing blessings that fall upon your head. So he gave him this village. Kamalakanta was one of the Sankirtan devotees, and he was a great Brahmin. So he said, you deliver this village. As Gauranga, when Gauranga was traveling in South India, he came to the village of Kurma Kshetra. There's a famous deity there, Shalagram deity of Kurma avatar. There was a Pandit there who served and hosted Lord Chaitanya during his South Indian tour. And he fell in love with Lord Chaitanya, which would be expected. Because talk about beauty and bliss. Someone's name is Sundara, beauty, and Anand, bliss or joy. Imagine meeting the personification, the ultimate pinnacle embodiment, the ultimate embodiment of the topmost expression of love, divine, and the topmost expression of inconceivable, unbelievable, enchantingly captivating beauty, all in one spot, in one beautiful form known as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he didn't come in a small package, a 5-foot-tall South Indian, or a 5-foot-tall Bengali gentleman, or an average Indian of 5'10", came a 7 feet tall, 7-foot-long package. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, who naturally fell in love with Gaura Sundar, Gaura Chandra. And he wanted to travel with him and give up his family and leave his village and go hither and thither with Lord Chaitanya, spreading the glories of Nam Sankirtan and Prema Bhakti. And Lord Chaitanya said, no. Yari deke tare kaha, Krishna Upadesh, Amara Agyaya Guru, Hana tare desh. O Pandit, Kurma Pandit, Shuno. You're a well-respected and established Pandit, Brahmin of this village. Everyone knows you. And I know you're completely attached to me and desirous of assisting me in my travels and preaching. But listen, I have a very important mission for you. I'm giving my order to you. Amara Agya. You stay here. Stay here in this village. And you preach. What to preach? He says, you just preach the teachings of Lord Krishna in Gita and Bhagavat. And be an example, be the achar, the example of that. And you become a guru of this whole area and liberate everyone. That is my wish. So then he acceded to the request and bowed his head and folded his hands and said, Tatastu. Let it be. I will do. So these devotees were delegated to stay in particular areas to preach. So Lord Chaitanya Nityananda is entrusting this village to him. So what quality do we find here in this thumbnail biography of one shloka of this devotee, Kamalakanta, we find that he's Parama Udham. Udham. This means he was transcendentally grave. He was grave, sober, serious, controlled, equipoised, because his mind and heart were tied to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Ananta Shesh, Bhagavan, Krishna. And he is Parama Udam, which means topmost gravity, topmost sobriety, because he realized the severe necessity of the moment to deliver Krishna Bhakti to the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. It's a very grave and responsible task to take on one's shoulders and to execute. So of course this is the most desirable quality, to be grave and serious, because the tendency is there's so much misery and suffering in Kali Yuga. The only way we can counteract the emotional distress and mental anxiety and anguish is by humor. A good dose of laughing and joking and kidding around, or what they say, horsing around. But sometimes it gets a little overboard, excessive, and we lose our sobriety, and we lose our dhira nature, or dhira. We become adir instead of dhira. So to hear about a great Vaishnava like Pandit Kamalakanta ki
Jai. Pandit Kamalakanta ki Jai.
Ek aur bolo.
Pandit Kamalakanta ki Jai.
Jai. So Kali Yuga, the only actual way to survive without committing suicide in Kali Yuga is lots of humor, lots of laughter. We're laughing outside and crying inside. This is the nature of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the age. Kali Yuga is the age. To exist in Kali Yuga, you have to laugh on the outside while ever crying on the inside. It's a very distressful and cry-producing age. Can you be happy about 50,000 cows being slaughtered every day in India? It makes you cry. Can you be happy about so many things? Rape and pornography and drugs. It makes one cry. Can you be happy about the pollution of Mother Nature's air and water and land and destruction of one species of life every day? Every day one species of life is destroyed by human beings. So many cows are gone. There used to be 5 kinds of tigers. Now there's 1 tiger, maybe 10 in the whole world. There's 5, 10 different kinds of tigers, 10, 20 different kinds of zebras. Not only the varieties are gone, but the whole animal's gone. There's something called vulture. Vulture is part of the whole perfect arrangement of God to dispose of the dead bodies. The vultures are gone. There's also varieties. All varieties of vultures are all gone. There are none in India. In my lifetime in India, which is 25 years, they've disappeared by poisons. The chemicals that were created by the veterinarians to cure these out-of-control diseases were so poisonous that when the vultures would eat the dead flesh, they died. Actually didn't die initially, because they're a little old and strong, but when they laid eggs, I already told this before, that chemical altered the genetic structure. The chemical is so powerful in the meat that it altered the genetic structure, DNA of the vultures while they're living, and when they produced eggs, laid eggs, the eggs had eggshells that were soft as jelly. There was a living entity inside the so-called shell. There was no shell. There was no shell formed inside the female, bird. So when she laid, it was just like a blob. A blob would come out, and it's supposed to be an eggshell. Birds, production of baby birds. So then there's nothing to sit on, and the life doesn't come out, doesn't develop. The life is there, but it just died. The living entity, baby vulture, dies in a nest. And then the remaining vultures fly around for some time, and then they die. So show me one vulture you can't find. From Bombay to Calcutta to Himalayas to Kanyakumari. All dead. This is one entire species wiped out. So this is something to laugh about. This is something to cry about. Cry about our brothers. They're our brothers. They're spirit souls. They're our brothers. They're part of God's creation. We can't create a vulture. We have no right to kill a vulture and annihilate, eliminate a vulture. or the whales, or the porpoises, or all these, save the whales, save the porpoise. And then pretty soon the cockroaches are going to be having a campaign. Cockroaches are going to be carrying a little sign. And they're going to walk up and down in front of the Congress and Parliament building. Save the humans, save the humans. The cockroaches will be on a fundraising campaign with other cockroaches. Humans are going extinct. Oh, we should save them. The planet will become overrun with cockroaches because only cockroaches are resistant to radiation. When they're subjected to radiation, they get bigger. They've already produced 2-foot, 3-foot long cockroaches in laboratories. Haribo. There's a lot of interesting things going on out there. Better you don't know, you cry more. So just laugh it up and think it's a tall story and keep eating rasgullas and chant Hare Krishna. So we can pray to him that we can become a little bit, I don't know about Parama Udam. So we pray that some of this sobriety comes in us. And we stop laughing and take to the preaching more seriously and improve ourselves and try to improve others by a more grave approach to our lives as devotees. We are not very serious about our spiritual lives, most of us, and we're not very grave. We're joking around, goofing around, thinking everything's wonderful, because we're exploiting the energy of youth. We're exploiting the energy of youth. Our youthful devotional years. We're exploiting our energy to enjoy, laughing, enjoying, taking it easy. And then when you get old, then you say, oh, my back hurts, my leg hurts, my tail hurts, I can't sit straight. I want to read, but I can't. My eyes are weak. My eyes get sore. My head hurts after a while. Now it's too late to do anything because we were not Dhira, we're not Udam when we should have been. And we flittled away and whittled away our lives, our early devotional lives, enjoying the luster and energy of youth. And all too soon old age comes and strips us of our energy and determination and strength and leaves us rather flat, and it's a little more difficult to do anything then. So a wake-up call, a wise-up call. Wake up, wise up, get up, grow up, start up the devotional practices in a more serious way. This is the lesson we can get from Pandit Kamalakanta, Parama Udam. So we pray to him that a drop of this gravity will come inside of us. Now mind you, there's no purport on this verse. This is just the insight given to us by the mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas in our own experience. So if you get something from it, then that's very good. And we hope everyone does. So we'll continue there with these wonderful instructive glories. These are instructive glories. And one thing is the glories of the Vaishnavas. We're hearing the glories, but we're hearing the instructive glories. We hear, we reflect, we rectify. Hear about the Vaishnavas, glories and contribution and wonderful qualities, then reflect, then rectify. Receive, reflect, and rectify. Like they have the 3 R's, right? In America, when we grew up, they say, oh, what do you do? I'm studying the 3 R's. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. It was a joke. They're not spelled with R. Oh, I'm studying the 3 R's. Reading, R-E-A, writing, R-I-T-I-N-G, and arithmetic, R-I-T. It was a joke. So we have our 3 R's also in Krishna consciousness. The 3 R's of Krishna consciousness. Receive, reflect, and rectify. Chaitanya Bhagavata Ki Jai. This is the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Ante Leela chapter 5. We heard about Kamalakant and Sundarananda, their great glories. And now Vrindavandas Thakur is glorifying Gauridas Pandit. Does anyone know who Gauridas Pandit is in Krishna Leela? I believe he's Subal. Gauridasa Pandita Parama Bhagyavan Kaya Manavakya Nityananda Janra Pran. Maybe we did this one. See a second. Gauridas Pandit. Of course, we could write a whole book about the glories of Gauridas Pandit, who is Subal Sakha, I believe, Krishna's most intimate Priyanarma Sakha friend in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. But Vrindavan Das Thakur, with his Vaishnav Mahima telescope, he's looking through the telescope and seeing the vast extent of the glories of the Vaishnavas. And then he starts changing the power of his lenses from the telephoto lens to 200 meters and 100 meters and 50 meters, and then he takes out a close-up lens on his camera, and he says, oh, what I want to feature about this person is not their whole form or not the car they're driving. I want to feature their eyes. So then the camera just takes a picture of their eyes. So he wants to feature one extraordinary quality of this Gauridas Pandit, although there are many, so many. He says that Nityananda was very special to him, very, very special to him. How special? He was pran special. He is his prananath. He was his very life air. If you can't separate the pran from our very existence. If we separate the pran from our existence, we exist no longer in this body. Because the connection between the Atma and the body is pran. So when the pran is gone, the body is gone, and we go somewhere else and collect some pran and Atma and Chitta and enervate another body in the womb and start again. So this Nityananda was his pran. Nityananda was his life and soul. And he accepted Nityananda with his body, mind, and speech. Kayo Manovakya. So this is what we call full acceptance. Sometimes people verbally accept someone, but not with their mind and not with their bodies. Yes, yes, I accept, he's my guru. Do you do any service with your body? No. Do you do any service even with your mouth, which you use to say you accept so-and-so as your guru? No. Do you ever think about doing service with your mind, kaya manavakya, and even plan to do service? Well, not really, but he's my guru. So this is not very full acceptance of the guru or the mentor or master. But Nityananda was not only his guru, but his friend and his eternal associate. Purandara, so we should say, Gauridas Pandit ki jai. Purandara Pandit Parama Shantadhant Nityananda Sarupera Valava Aikant. Purandara Pandit was greatly peaceful and self-controlled. He was extremely dear to Nityananda Sarup. He was Paramashanta Danta. I guess they go together. Shanta and Danta. This says in the 7th canto, Narada Muni is giving instructions about Varnashram Dharma. And in one chapter he speaks about the qualities of the brahmachari. He says, Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanto Gurorhitam. He says that the brahmachari lives in the house of the guru. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanto Gurorhitam. And he lives there, Vasa, Gurukul Vas, Danta, and he lives for Guru Hitam. He lives for the benefit of the Guru, for the welfare of the Guru, for the seva of the Guru. And he's Danta. He's self-controlled. He's self-controlled. The same word is here. Shanta Danta. Danta means self-controlled. And Parama. Parama means completely, absolutely, and transcendently also. Because unless one is transcendently Shant and Dant, he can't be Shant and Dant eternally. Because transcendence is eternal, and transcendental qualities are eternal. They're eternally expressed. Not that today we express Shant, and tomorrow we become furiously angry for no Vaishnava reason, because our egos are stepped on, or something is not according to our liking. Because there are justifications for Vaishnavas to become angry. When another Vaishnava is vilified by a Pashandi or Nastic, or the Lord is attacked or vilified, then one can become like fire. Okay, close it. So these are the acceptable outlets for anger, and an additional one was added by Srila Bhaktisanta Saraswati Thakur, he said yes, when he was asked, Guruji, what can we do with our anger? He said, anger? Because the devotee said, Prabhupada, Guruji, Srila Gurudev, we understand from Shastras that we should use we have anger within us, these things are stored within us due to our consciousness, and they come out, so what to do with them? And he said, well, I know the Shastra says we should defend the devotees from demons and attacks and the deities, but that doesn't happen much. I live in a temple and very few people attack the deities over here in India. In America and the West it happens more often. Crazy people come to the temple and jump on the altar and try to break the deities. I've seen myself. And Berkeley, it's called Berkeley. There's a lot of wild people over there. So then you have to have pretty good... And of course we always had extra protection. In the temple room in general we always had some Kshatriya devotee type, Kung Fu type, keeping an eye on the temple, especially in Berkeley, with so many crazy people there. We call them crazies. I just said, like somebody would say, his temple commander was his expert karate. Well, he said, yeah, some crazy guy came, some crazies came. I said, did you make them sane? He said, yeah, I taught them how to be more sane. Deposit them at the curb. When devotees are so then this doesn't happen much, that they attack the deities or they attack devotees in India especially. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. So what to do? And then Guruji said, use anger against yourself, because it's always boiling within you. So direct that inner anger against yourself for being so lazy and being so undetermined and being so loose and not checking your mind and not kicking your laziness out and being serious about bhakti. So use your anger to beat up yourself. Use your anger to yell at yourself and chastise yourself, and don't leave me out of it. So if the shoe fits, wear it. Radhe Radhe. So he was Parama Shantadhanta. So if one is spiritually fixed and senses are controlled, then automatically one gets peacefulness. And he was Vallabha Ekanta. He was extremely dear to Nityananda. That's the translation, but we can easily see that Nityananda Srupera Vallabha Ekanta. That we could also say Ek Kanta, Ek Vallabha. He had one beloved. Nityananda Srup was his one beloved. Or that he was the one beloved of Nityananda. The translation, he was extremely dear to Nityananda Vallabha. To Nityananda Swarup. Vallabha Ekanta. He was one of the dear ones or beloved ones of Nityananda, or he was the one. Or he is. The Nityananda is dear to him. So this is, of course, another desirable position for a disciple of a guru, to be Gurudev Vallabha Ekanta, to be extremely dear to the guru. These are qualities of Purandara Pandit, Parama Shantadhanta, and Nityananda Vallabha Ekanta. Wonderful transcendental qualities, to be self-controlled in all situations by being fixed in Krishna consciousness, and being peaceful, again, by being fixed in Krishna consciousness and seeing the Lord's hand in everything. When we give up being the controller, then we can be peaceful. Simple as that. Because we realize that Krishna's the source of peace and He's the only controller. Because we realize that Krishna is the source of peace and He's the only controller. Parama Shantadanta. And so most of us, especially ourselves, we're not very shanta, very peaceful, nor are we danta, self-control in the least bit. What to speak of having these two amazingly wonderful qualities to the topmost extent, to the fullest representation of Parama Shantadanta. Shantadanta. Far from it. We can only pray from the bottom of our heart that Nityananda, you're very merciful, you're Guru Tattva, you're Guru Shakti, you're very kind to the Patita Janas, the very fallen souls of Kali Yuga. So please, you're surrounded by all these wonderful associates that have all these divine and desirable qualities, which I would certainly like to possess, but I don't. So I can pray to Purandara Pandit, who I certainly will do, but he's connected to you, so I'm going to pray to you also. And will you please bless me that maybe I will never become Parama Shantadanta, but maybe Torah Shantadanta, Torah, Alpa, little, tiny, something. I will become a little bit peaceful and a little bit self-controlled by becoming a little bit Krishna conscious. And if I can exhibit some actual attractive qualities and devotional attributes, then I may become Vallabha Ekanta. I may become dear to Nityananda, I may become dear to the devotees, and I may become a beloved of the devotees, and especially beloved of my Gurudev. Nityananda Jivana Parameshwari Das Janhara Vigrahe Nityanandera Vilas Parameshwari Das Nityananda Vilas. Nityananda was the life and soul of Parameshwari Das. Nityananda enjoyed pastimes in his body. Now that's quite intimate association. I mean, even in the most intimate relationship in the world of Madhurya or conjugal love, where the lovers are quite close to each other in union, husband and wife, we don't find that the husband enters inside the wife's body and has pastimes. Impossible. But in this transcendental platform, Nityananda actually entered his heart and flooded his heart with his full presence of Nityananda Nam, Nityananda Rup, Nityananda Gun, Nityananda Lila, Krita, Nitai Krita, was all going on inside the heart and mind and body of this wonderfully exalted devotee named Parameshwari Das Ki Jai. Extraordinary. I think we should all repeat the name of these great devotees also. So I'll say Parameshwari Das Ki Jai, Purandara Pandit Ki Jai, Gauridas Pandit Ki Jai, Pandit Kamalakanta Ki Jai, Sundarananda Ki Jai. So it may seem a little bit childish, this type of rote repetition, and we may be judged as such, but we don't really care about the Vox Populi. We care about the opinion of the liberated souls, and the opinion of our Guru Varg, and the opinion of the Panchatattva and Krishna. And I know they'll hear our chanting and our heartfelt utterances, and that's enough for us. If they reciprocate, it doesn't matter. It's my good fortune if I can even speak their name with this worthless tongue of mine, with this ridiculously foolish tongue of mine that wraps itself around so many thorn-like topics and cactus-like stories to produce so much dribble of dry sand and salty water in the form of prajalpa. If I can withdraw it from those engagements and with this same worthless, wretched tongue utter the name of a great devotee, I'm sure somewhere Krishna will appreciate that. So let's look a little closer put a little tighter lens on our camera, closer focus on Parameshwari Das from the information, although small sutra type of information given in this one verse, we'd like to explore what we can derive for our improvement. Nityananda Jivana Parameshwari Das Janhara Vigrahe Nityananda Vilas. So his life was Nityananda, was life and soul. His very life and soul, the Nityananda Nityananda, his Jivan. When Vrindavan, Nityananda, of course, this is Gaur Leela, and Gaur Nitai were the Jivan, Gaur Jivan, and Nityananda Jivan. Gaur Nitai were the life and soul of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas as they are today. Gaur Nitai are the Jivan of all of us. They're our very life, and they're our pran, our Jivan. We live for them, and they live for us. They lived for us. They came here and lived for us. Their Jivan was for us. Jivan Sarthak. And the purpose of our life is for them, and to remember them, and to serve them, and glorify them. Gaur Nitai, Nitai Gaur. So this is Gaur Leela, and that's Gaur Dham, and Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But if we expand the view to Vrindavan, contemporary Vrindavan, Dham, Sridham Vrindavan, or even in Nitya Leela, Goloka Vrindavan, or Prakat Leela Vrindavan, we find that the Jivan of all the Brijbasis, and the Jivan today of all the Brijbasis, and in Krishna Leela all the Brijbasis, and of Krishna himself, the Jivan of all of them is Radharani. And their songs, the life and soul of Yashoda is Radharani. Everyone is life and soul is Radharani. Hamaro Dhana Shri Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Prema Dana. Prema Dana, she is the wealth of Prem. Hamaro Dana, she is my wealth. Then we say Jivana Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Jivana Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Hamaro Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Hamaro Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Hamaro Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Jivana Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Jivana Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Prema Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Prema Dana Radha Shri Radha Shri Radha. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So in Vrindavan, when the Brijbasis, when they sing this small song, then something happens in their hearts, and something happens in their minds, because they feel in their inner being that their life is Radharani, that their mind is always searching and reaching out and crying for Radharani. So we can understand by that how the Brijbasis feel towards Radharani, how Parameshwari Das felt towards Nityananda. That when he would say the name of Nityananda, we say, Hamara Dana, Jivana Dana Radha, he would say, Jivana Dana Nitai, 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 Jivana Dana Nityananda, Nitai, Nitai, Jivana Dana Nitai, Nitai, Nitai. So Parameshwari Das, he would chant that in Gaur Leela. And when he would chant that name of Nityananda Sarupera, or Nityananda Sarup, or Nitai, then he would feel so much ulas in his heart, and so much wonderful peace and hope and encouragement in his mind, just by chanting that mantra, which linked his very life existence with the lotus feet of Nitai, his Ishtadev. As the Brijbasis feel that similar experience of linking their lives with the lotus feet of Radha when they chant Jivana, Jivana Dana Radha Shri Radha. So this is Nityananda Jivan. And Janhara Vigrahe Nityananda Vilas, his Vigraha, his form, was the Nityananda Vilas, as the pastimes of Nityananda. So this is Nityananda's, the Vilas. We have this expression in the West, oh, he's a walking encyclopedia. But now, and sometimes we would meet devotees, we would say, oh, he's like a walking Chaitanya Bhagavat. He's a walking Chaitanya Charitamrita. And whenever you would meet the person, they would tell you about Chaitanya Leela. I know one person who memorized the Krishna book, one devotee. Word for word English Krishna book, Prabhupada, word for word. And he was known for that. So then sometimes we would be together in a Krishnamala Mandir, and we would go to the Jamuna to bathe. And then I said, listen, my friend, my devotee friend, I would like to, his request line is open, I can make my requests for what song I want to hear, top song. I said, we're walking there. Can you tell me the story while we're walking? In those days, it was a beautiful footpath all the way down there, sort of all just sandy footpaths through the Goshala and around the MVT and backside there, and then all sandy paths, all the way sandy, across one sandy path, crossing another sandy path, and going through some gate and going through the Goshala sandy path and out the Goshala sandy path and turn right in the Perkamark sandy path. And all sand. From Jamuna, from Ramanreti, which is all, Reti means sand, from Ramanreti to Jamuna was all sand. Jamuna sand, because that was all, Ramanreti, where the temple today is, in Krishna's Leela, that was under the Yamuna. That was Yamuna. And Chaitanya Vihar was Yamuna Vihar. West Yamuna. It was all under the Yamuna. That's how vast, because you see it's all sand. You look at the land, it's all sand. Everything, they brought in landfill, but you dig underneath it's all white Yamuna sand. The same as in the Yamuna. And then, so I said, I'd like to hear Gopi Vastraharana. Krishna steals it because it happened at Yamuna. So we're walking along, and I'm just listening, all ears, and he's telling word for word the whole fast time. So the person, that was like a walking Krishna book. So we can say, if he's can speak about Krishna Leela to such a minute extent, in a perfect way, that means that Nitya, Krishna's vilas is in his body. The pastimes are playing in his body. So when we say the Nityananda enjoyed pastimes in his body, it can mean that Nityananda personally entered his body, like Pravesh, and used his body to enjoy pastimes. Through his body, he enjoyed pastimes. That's one meaning of it. Or he, in the same way that his body became an abode of Nityananda Vilas, that he was either always with Nityananda directly, or when he wasn't with Nityananda, he was only speaking about Nityananda. So anybody who sat with him or heard from him would immediately be swept into the Leelas of Nityananda. Oh, yesterday Nityananda did this, and then immediately they would be Vilas. So this is another wonderful and admirable, desirable quality that we would love to have. To have the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, have Radha and Krishna enjoying pastimes in our body. Our body means what? When we say body, it says Vigraha. Enjoyed pastimes in his Vigraha. Vigraha means his form. So it can be the subtle body. Generally, when we hear words like body, we immediately take it to the external fingers and toenails and arms and legs and stomach. That's our body. And if we say, who are you? Most people say, they go like this. They don't say, I'm inside my head. Who are you? I'm my subtle body. I'm my mind. I'm mind. No, I'm, like someone says, who are you? Oh, I'm a black man. I'm an Indian man. That's your mind? That's your skin. So generally people identify, they say, who are you? They identify their external physical body, not their mental body. Isn't that correct? I don't think if you open up someone's head, you're going to find a black mind, an Indian mind, Australian mind, American mind, French mind. You open up and it says, made in France. Wow, look at that. You open up his head, it says, made in New Zealand. Wow, that's cool. It's not like that. So playing in his, enjoyed pastimes in his body, Janhara Vigrahe, Nityananda Vilas, can be in his manasik deha. Deha means Vigraha. We can say Manasa Vigraha. Deha, Kaledram, Kaya. All means body. That can mean gross body or subtle body. Shikshma Shvir, Linga Shvir. So then it's easier to relate, because if you're doing Smaran, Leela Smaran, meditating on Nityananda Leela or Radha Krishna Leela, at the level of Bhava, if you've attained the stage of Bhava Bhakti, then there's something called Leela Pravesh, where in your mind, while meditating, you actually enter the Leelas of Nitya and Gaur. And then you're enjoying. He's enjoying pastimes because you're in the pastime, you're in your Siddhadeha as a Nityakishore Brahman, and you're moving with Nityananda Gaur Nitai in the Shayan Leela, and you're going to Srivas Thakur's house, and it's evening time, the sun is setting, and all the devotees are gathered. And now Lord Chaitanya goes up and sits on Thakurji's Singhasan. Then an artik starts, and you're playing mridanga, and you see Nityananda is dancing in front of you, or you're playing mridanga. So Nitya's enjoying vilas in your body. He's enjoying pastimes in your subtle body. Janhara Vigraha Nityanandera Vilas. That's a Bhav Deha. You're in Bhav. And he's Leela Pravesh, and you get locked into that sporty, and it becomes Visporti. So deep and profound that you're lost in that space and that Leela. So while that's going on, while that meditation is going on, who knows? For all intents and purposes, you maybe traveled in your astral body and traveled to another universe. In that deep state of meditative samadhi, you travel to another universe where the Prakat Leela is going on, where that Shine Leela is going on, and the Shine Artik of Gauranga in Srivas Thakur's house on the bank of the Janavatata, Ganga. So this is one way to see this idea. So now taking this back to us and praying to Parameshwari Das, well, please bless us that I don't know when we'll come to Bhav or Prem in what lifetime, but maybe some sprinkle or some few scenes of some Leela will come in my mind, and I'll feel the presence of Nityananda engaging in pastimes in my mind. I'll chant japa, and I'm absorbed in chanting japa, and suddenly I capture some scene of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda moving down the street in a Sankirtan party in the afternoon during Uttaragosta Leela. When Krishna's returning from the cows in the afternoon from the pastures to Nandagram, 3:36 to 6 in the afternoon, at that same time period, then Nityananda and Gauranga are returning from their wandering in all the different villages and, wandering and visiting different homes of their devotees and Navadvip, and coming back to their homes, and they're dancing in a Sankirtan performance and playing Kol and Kartal and Singha and so many instruments, and they're chanting, while we're chanting japa, we see them and we just get so absorbed, we feel like we're in that kirtan party, and we're chanting also our chanting of japa and our meditation. Our japa becomes kirtan, our kirtan becomes japa, and we're there and we're dancing and moving down these beautiful sandy lanes and these tropical vegetation on both sides of the lane, and beautiful coconut trees and bakul trees hanging over the roadway, shading us from the afternoon setting sun. And nearby the Ganga is moving so majestically and beautifully and powerfully on to the sea of the Bay of Bengal. So this is a brief touching of the pastimes, so we can pray for this. Dhananjaya Pandit Mahanta Vilakshan Janhara Ridaya Nityananda Sarakshan. Dhananjaya Pandit was an extraordinary devotee. Nityananda always resided in his heart. Dhananjaya Pandit Ki Jai. So let's repeat his name. Dhananjaya Pandit Ki Jai. It's described here he was a Mahant and Vilakshan. Mahant and Vilakshan. There's some further meanings on some of these words. There's an accompanying, in all these verses, there's a footnote that explains how there's an Anubhashya commentary. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, I believe, wrote a commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita called Anubhashya. And Srila Prabhupada has translated that in his Chaitanya Charitamrita and included it there, woven into his own purports. And in Adi Leela, chapter 11, all these various devotees are given slightly more elaborate description. So we could keep that on deck here to also consult. But anyone wants to read further, let's say that, anyone wants to read further about these devotees that we've been reading about, or mentioning it briefly here, because Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita often cover the same subjects, and sometimes some different subjects, and some more elaborately in one book and more elaborately in another book. So these is all we can find a lot of these devotees are described and more glorified in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 11, text 13 on to 20, 30, like that. 33, 40, 50, like this. We can see more. But this devotee, Dhananjaya Pandit, it's described that Hridaye Nityananda Sarvakshan. Nityananda, at every moment, Sarvakshan, at every moment Nityananda was always in his heart, which means he never forgot Nityananda even for a moment. Hridaye Nityananda Sarvakshan. He was always seeing Nityananda in his heart, remembering Nityananda in his heart. And this is, of course, that means that if he was always seeing, Dhananjaya Pandit was always seeing Nityananda in his heart and remembering him, that means that conversely, Nityananda was always seeing Dhananjaya Pandit in his heart and always remembering him. This is told also, the same principle is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 30. Yomam pashati sarvacha sarvam shamai pashati. Krishna is telling Arjuna, for one who sees me everywhere and everything in me, I am never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. So seeing everything, seeing Krishna everywhere means seeing him in your heart and always remembering him. And if you're whatever you're seeing, whomever you're seeing in your heart and remembering, then you'll see the same person outside and wherever you go. Dhananjaya Pandit had this type of heart. At every moment, his heart was with Nityananda, never separated. And we can pray for this also. Our hearts have many cameo pictures in our hearts, and many lockets. Lockets, something people wear hang around their neck and put a little picture inside. We have many lockets hanging on the throat of our heart. Pictures of various people that have trooped through our lives. Relativities, various relativities impinging on our sojourn in this body. Relativities coming in the form of mother and father, brother, mundane teachers and friends. So they often haunt the inner reaches of the consciousness in times of peace or in times of solitude. One can be amazed at who comes out of the dark. What kind of spooks what kind of spooks are in the closet, and what kind of spooks are in the closets of our mind. Oh, what's that? Who's that guy? Where'd you come from? I haven't thought of you or seen you for 50 years. Now go back in the closet and don't bother me at the time of death. When you die, then all the closet doors are open at once. All the spooks come out of the mind at once to spook you, catch you, and hook you. The spooks come to hook you, take you off into forgetfulness at the crucial time. So he was Sarvakshan. At every moment he was remembering Nityananda. Nityananda always resided in his heart. We can pray for that Prabhupada will always reside in our hearts. It'd be a lot to ask for Nityananda to always reside in our heart, or for Radharani or Sri Krishna Shamsundar. Well, who are we and who are they? We don't have much adhikar to invite them into our hearts because they only live in clean hearts.
Adi Purusha Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Adi Purusha Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Adi Purusha Tamaham Bhajami Vedubhagavanta Paravindadayataksham Bhagavatam samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaleya Vishesha Shubham Adipurusha Bhajami.
Amdani yasya share Vidavete bhante Vasyanti pante kalayante Chiram jagante Ananta chimaya sadhu Vidyahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine
Krishna Pristaya Srimate Bhakti
Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvita Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Krishna Jai Sanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadari Aura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadari Aura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
कथा वात्सला श्री गौर हरि कथा वात्सला श्री गौर हरि श्री गौरा हरि खीर पुली पायसाना भजवा कथवा चल श्री गौर हरि 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 कर्पूराय अमृत केली रंभा क्षीर सार कर्पूराय अमृत केली रंभा क्षीर सार अमृतर सलयम्ला द्वादश प्रकार लुचि चीनी सारे पूरी लाडू रसा बोली लुचि चीनी सारे সৃজন করেন কৃষ্ণ হয়ে কুতূহলী রাধিকার পাকায়ন বিবিধ ব্যঞ্জন রাধিকার পাকায়ন বিবিধ ব্যঞ্জন পরময়ানন্দে কৃষ্ণ করেন ভোজন পরময়ানন্দে কৃষ্ণ করেন ভোজন ছলে বলে লাড্ডু খায় শ্রীমধু মঙ্গল 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 বগল বাজায় আর জয় হরি বল 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 রাধিকা দিগানে হেরি নয়নের কোণে রাধিকা দিগানে হেরি নয়নের কোণে তৃপ্ত হয়ে খায় কৃষ্ণ যশোদা ভবনে তৃপ্ত হয়ে খায় কৃষ্ণ যশোদা ভবনে ভোজনান্তে প্রিয়ে কৃষ্ণ সুবাসিত বারি ভোজনান্তে প্রিয়ে কৃষ্ণ সুবাসিত বারি সবে মুখা প্রখালয় হয় সারে সারে সবে মুখ প্রখালয় হয় সারে সারে হস্তমুখ প্রখালিয়া যত সখা গানে হস্তমুখ প্রখালিয়া যত সখা গানে আনন্দে বিশ্রাম করে বলদেব সনে আনন্দে বিশ্রাম করে বলদেব সনে জাম্বুল রসালয়ানে তাম্বুল মশালা জাম্বুল রসালয়ানে তাম্বুল মশালা তাহাকে কৃষ্ণচন্দ্র সুখে নিদ্রা গেলা তাহাকে কৃষ্ণচন্দ্র সুখে নিদ্রা গেলা ভজবা কতবা চল শ্রী গৌর হরি 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 বিশালাক্ষ শিখি পুচ্ছা চামরা ডোলায় বিশালাক্ষ শিখি পুচ্ছা চামরা ডোলায় অপূর্ব সচায় কৃষ্ণ সুখে নিদ্রা যায় অপূর্ব সচায় কৃষ্ণ সুখে নিদ্রা যায় যশোমতী আজ্ঞা পে তনিষ্ঠায়ানিতা যশোমতী আজ্ঞা পে তনিষ্ঠায়ানিতা হরি লীলা একমাত্র যাহার প্রমোদ, হরি লীলা একমাত্র যাহার প্রমোদ, ভোগারতি গায় সেই ভক্তি বিনোদ, ভোগারতি গায় সেই ভক্তি বিনোদ। ভজবা কথা বাসল শ্রী গৌর হরি, ভজবা কথা বাসল শ্রী গৌর হরি, ভজবা কথা বাসল শ্রী গৌর হরি। গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল, জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল, জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল, জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল। গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা, গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা, গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা, গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ নন্দ দুলালা। জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল, জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ গোপাল। নন্দ দুলালা জয় জয় সচি দুলালা, 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 সচি দুলালা জয় জয় গৌর গোপালা, সচি দুলালা জয় জয় গৌর গোপালা, জয় জয় গোবিন্দ গোবিন্দ 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 গোপালা। অজনয়ন কোলা শোভা ভগত ভগত সেবা পরম সিদ্ধি প্রেম লতিকার মূলা, ভগত সেবা পরম সিদ্ধি প্রেম